All right, let's talk about a huge shift that every overwhelmed business owner needs to make. We're going to go from being a constant fixer to becoming a visionary system builder. So if you feel like you're just treading water, trying to keep your head up, you are in exactly the right place. You know the feeling, right? You wake up, you grab your phone, and bam, the first fire of the day is already burning. Maybe it's a missed delivery, an employee who's confused, or a client with a complaint. Your whole day becomes this frantic scramble, just reacting, putting out one fire after another. And by the end of it, you're just wiped out with zero energy left for the big picture stuff. Well, there is a name for this cycle. It's called the fixer trap. And it's tricky because, honestly, it feels good, doesn't it? You swoop in, you save the day, and you get this little rush from being the hero. But here's the problem. While it feels super productive in the moment, that trap is the very thing stopping your business from ever growing beyond you. Getting out of this trap really starts with one fundamental shift in your mindset. It all comes down to the question you ask yourself when something goes wrong. See, the fixer immediately asks, how do I fix this right now? But the system builder, they ask a much, much more powerful question. How do we make sure this never happens again? So let's break that down a little. A fixer's focus is always on the immediate crisis. The result? The whole business becomes completely dependent on them. All you get is short-term relief. But the system builder, they're focused on prevention. The business starts to depend on the process, not the person. And that right there is what leads to real sustainable growth. So you might think, okay, I can handle being a fixer for a little while, but the true cost is, well, it's way higher than you think. It's so much more than just the hours you're burning. There are all these hidden consequences that can quietly sabotage your business. Let's look at what's really happening. First, there's the opportunity cost. I mean, every single hour you spend dealing with some tiny administrative fire is an hour you're not spending on sales or strategy. Second, you literally become the agility bottleneck. Every decision slows to a crawl because your team is always waiting on you. Third, the mental fatigue is just brutal. That constant, always-on stress is a recipe for burnout. And finally, you end up with a super fragile business. Because if everything depends on you, what happens if you get sick or, want to take a vacation? This really just hits the nail on the head. Your greatest strength, your amazing ability to solve problems, ends up becoming the business's biggest weakness. It's a total paradox. In this hero culture you've built, you are the bottleneck. Everything has to flow through you, and that just grinds everything to a halt. And this is so, so important to understand. When the same problems keep popping up over and over, that's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that your structure is failing. This isn't about you not working hard enough. It's about the design of your business. And the best part is, you can change the design. So, how do we do it? How do we actually make this shift? Look, it's not about some massive, complicated overhaul you have to do overnight. It's actually a simple, repeatable 3-step process. This is your clear path out of the fixer trap. Okay, here's a really powerful tool you can start using for this, today. It's called the 5 whys technique. So when a problem pops up, don't just fix the surface issue. Ask why it happened. And whatever the answer is, ask why again. You do this about 5 times, and you'll drill right past the symptom and find the actual root cause. And that's the thing you really need to fix. So here are the 3 steps. It's really this simple. Step 1, identify patterns. Just look for the problems that keep happening. If it happens more than once a month, that's a pattern. Step 2, document the solution. Get that knowledge out of your head and create a simple checklist or a standard operating procedure. And finally, step 3, assign or automate. Hand that checklist to a team member or find a tool that can do it for you. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. Processes and documentation, that's just gonna kill our creativity. But I promise you, it is the exact opposite. When you systematize all the boring, repetitive stuff, you free up everyone's mental energy, including your own, to focus on the cool, creative, high-value work that actually grows the business. Documentation isn't a prison, it's the key to freedom. What this whole journey is really about is evolving your role. It's about taking off that firefighter helmet and putting on an architect's hard hat. You're shifting from being a reactive hero to a proactive designer who's building a business that can run and even thrive without you. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? True leadership isn't about you having all the answers and solving every problem. It's about designing the systems and structures that let work flow smoothly, that empower your team to win without you having to be in the middle of everything. So where do you even start?
Let's make it super easy. Start right here, today. Just think of one small, annoying task that you had to handle this week. Maybe it was processing an invoice or something. Now, just write down 3 simple steps to get it done. That's it. Congratulations, you've just built your very first system.
And I want to leave you with this final thought. Once you start clawing back your time and your energy from that daily grind, the possibilities are just endless. So the real question isn't just how you're going to build these systems, it's what are you going to build with all that newfound freedom?